Good morning, good evening, depending on which time zone you are. My name is Fiston Mudachumura. I'm welcoming you into episode 4 of Great Chair podcast. As you may have already figured out from the previous episodes, this is a podcast talking about books and what we can learn from them. I will be sharing, as usual, a book which I think can help you try to shape this year. By the way, welcome in 2025. This is the 1st of January 2025. Yes, it's a new year. Congratulations, you made it to the new year. We're praying for the souls that didn't make it in 2024. So many people that we know or that we don't know. I send my condolences to those who lost their loved ones. But to start a new year, we're starting with a very important book, which I think can also help everyone. So the book is called The Big Picture. It's by a Black American author called Ben Carson. I think I bought this book around 7 years ago, but as I was looking through the stash of my books, I saw that it's an important book to read and reread when you can. The Big Picture, Dr. Carson, for those who don't know him, he shares with us his philosophy that helped him rise from failure and also reaching an influencing, far-reaching influence in his society. He was one of the first good black neurosurgeon. You know, those people who operate the brains and stuff. He was at Hopkins Hospital and University, I think. And this book is not how to succeed. It's different from the other book. But it's important. It teaches you why you must succeed. It's very important because it's about broadening your perspectives on life. It's about finding a vision for your own, don't, you also must have a vision for yourself and for your life. That can help in getting your priorities, energizing your efforts, and inspire you to change the world around you. By the way, it's not the whole world. It can start even from your nuclear family. It can start from your work relationships, and so on and so on. So what more as we dive in can we start with? So let's start with the author. As I mentioned, the author is a neurosurgeon. He's also a former politician, and for you who remember, he was part of the Trump cabinet. I think was his state of health, Secretary of Health or Education or something like that. I think it was health. And so his full name is Benjamin Solomon Carson Sr. He was born in September 18th, 1951, Detroit, Michigan. He was raised by a single mother, something that I liked, and then a low-income household. The same, at one point, I was raised with a single mother. So despite for him struggling academically, he managed to excel by the love instilled by his mother into education, and he managed to graduate in medical area. He studied at Yale. He did a bachelor's degree in psychology. He went on to do medical school in Michigan. He became director of pediatrics neurosurgery, basically operating on kids at only the age of 33. By now, most of us are older than him, but he was already head of a department of head surgery at 33. He became very famous when he operated on two twins back in 87. The first, you know, when those kids are born with their heads attached? In 1987, he became famous by operating on them successfully, and those twins have grown up to be healthy. So he's known by in writing and the public speaking. So Carson has authored several best-selling books, included Gift in the Hands, his autobiography, and was adapted into a film starring Cuba Gooding Jr. And the film was also called Think Big. Basically, this book was adapted by Kuba in film. So, what are some of his personal success? Is like the book where the big picture. This one, uh, no, I think big is another one. This is the big picture. He maintains his vision on life, and as a political career, he tried to run for presidential election in 2016, but he ended up because he didn't win. He lost Trump, and he ended up becoming Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Sorry for previously mentioning that he was in education or health. It was housing. His legacy is very powerful. It talks about perseverance, but he mentions the importance of education, going to school, going to school. His life continued to inspire individuals globally and, of course, in his home country, the United States of America. So diving inside the book, the big picture is a motivation, of course, an inspirational book. It talks about different perspectives, and can shape. Sorry, my daughter is is my daughter just woken up. Normally, I record very early in the morning, but sorry, my daughter just woke up and she's trying to get in the frame. I apologize for that. So, what I was talking about, he managed to become Secretary of Housing and Urban Development in Trump cabinet, for those of you who remember. So, in this book, the themes are about vision and purpose. So basically, he focuses, he reminds people that it's important to have a vision for your life, career, and he encourages readers to think behind the current circumstances. What are the problems? Maybe today you broke, maybe today you can't find your way out of schools, to school, or try to, but think big, basically. So, also importance, it talks about the importance of overcoming challenges. Drawing from his own life, it talks about personal struggles, but also small wins, like educational wins. For example, in the state, they talk about life of hood, grammarizing the hood, or let's say playing basketball as the only way out. But he mentions also the odds of one people making it out of the hood. That the best way forward is education. It was about faith and integrity. It's important for everyone to cultivate some moral principles which can guide their decision and foster personal growth. I know most of us sometimes we grow from environment without morals and stuff, but we need to learn. He also talks about the impact of serving the society. So basically, take yourself out of the picture. Don't always think about it. This is also some of the things I always get difficulties in. So he talks about continuous learning, that life is about keep learning. Either self-improvement, like reading books and everything. So why do you see you should read this book is because it helps. It's to motivate. It motivates you to pursue your goals and your vision. There are lessons like we can learn about professions, how to approach challenges in a professional career, how also to approach challenges in your relationships and everything. It talks about personal development and leadership, making positive impact on society as a whole. So this is what one of the things I think which are very important in the book. So the book itself has around 10-ish chapters. From, so the first chapter is talks about the importance of a vision. So you must have a vision for your future, for the future. So for him, he talked the importance of how the mother insisted on him on reading, going to school, and also he talked to him to envision a life out of poverty. I know, for example, in Africa or developing countries, most people are still struggling to get out of poverty. But he shows you also the value of education as a way out. He talks about in second chapter to see beyond the obvious. Basically, what you seeing maybe there is crime in your neighborhood and so on, and you get frustrated, and you see those immediate obstacles, and basically he trying to show you can try to see potential, like the good things that are happening in your either in your environment, career, and try to think creatively how to approach and adapt to ways that can help you give you a breakthrough. It's also because he's a Christian, he talks about faith as a foundation. So Carson indicates how the faith helped him. Spiritual beliefs are very good sometimes because they help us steer in the right way. So those of you who believe in Jesus or Muhammad, faith can also help shape your moral compass and believe in a greater way, good ways, rightful ways of living a rightful life. That's something I need to work on also. Chapter 4, it talks about turning setbacks into comebacks. All of us in life, we get caught up sometimes with simple failure. So, but he's trying to give a new image around it, that failure, you can turn them into learning moments. What every challenge presents an opportunity to grow stronger and be more resilient. That's what he talks about in this chapter. In chapter 5, he talked about education as the great equalizer. As I mentioned, for example, in the States, you can see that most people want to play basketball or want to become rappers, but he shows that those who make it are even less than 1% out of those professions, because it's what the media tells us. But education is a great equalizer because it can help you get out of those environments, the hood. You go to learn, you get profession, you get your finances in order and everything. So don't rely on those things we see sold on by media, that they are the only way out. Chapter 6, it talks about making an impact on others. Basically, it's about trying to use the skills or the resources that you currently have to help others. For example, you can mentor other upcoming people in your profession or in your career, help them to seek purpose, not only in personal achievement, but also in uplifting their communities. Basically helping, either is it your neighborhood, your mudugudu, your village, is it your district, do something that also can help them. The power 7 talks about the power of positive choices. Basically trying to choose positive choices in your decision making, step by step. That's chapter 7. He talks about the small choices that you made to stay from negative influences. It talks about if you're going in an environment like the drugs, try to do maybe church service or community work, go to library work, things that will help you stay away from the drugs and everything, that basically to stay occupied with positive things. So chapter 8 it talks about this define success on your own terms. What does success mean to you? Does it mean maybe being inspirational talker? Does it mean having a beautiful family that you can be able to afford to take care of? Define what success means in your life. What do you see as? Don't go into other people what their success means for them. So basically, work on your personal reflections, what success means, or what for him he talks about success is in the lives of others he managed to change. So in chapter 9 he talks about managing career and family. He talks about family as very important and relationships. Also, career is also important because careers help us grow financially, achieve certain things. So you need to learn how you can prioritize because families are important. The kids, if you have kids, you like to have kids, kids are growing, they need you. Your wife needs you or your husband. So then it talks about leaving a legacy. The book ends with a call to action for everyone to try to create their own legacy. What can you leave behind in the society? What can you help others? Is it through your work? Is it try to writing books? What are your personal examples you think people should learn from you? So that's what mostly, quickly, what it talks about. But I want to read a few quotes straight from the book. Basically, here it talks, there is a part where it talks about how hardship taught him financial responsibility. You know, when you're broke and you're trying to get out of, how do you prioritize your savings? He talks like this: any penny saved was truly a penny earned. Basically, every little money that you manage to save can be help you in the future. He talks about learning these important skills, how you can learn to save. Here he also talks about hardship showed me the secret to happiness. So basically, when in your hardship, let's say you are broke, have no money, and you manage to get like one piece of irindazi, one piece of how can I call it? One piece of bread and tea of 50 francs or 100 francs, and you manage to savor it, you will appreciate it and you will find that happiness sometimes it doesn't require so many things. Another thing that I liked in the book is moving behind the victim mentality. Yeah, we all pass through some shit in life. Sorry. There's some hard stuff in life. Sometimes it's hard to see beyond those hardships that you pass through. But here he tries to remind us it's very important to see behind and get out. For example, here he says, victims often look for excuses and explanations why the things are the way they are. Overcomers, as for his mother's example, taught him to look for solutions that will change things. Not always get caught up things that are not changing, things are stuck this way, nothing is happening. So we need to try to program ourselves to look for solutions in our lives. He also talks about try to set high standards. And also he talks about the importance of family. Parenting can be a group effort. Don't leave it to your wife or only your husband to think that it's already their job to do. Kids need support from both parents. Something I'm learning also through because I'm a new parent somehow. And as new parents, sometimes depending on cultures, for example, in where the cultures are patriarchal, we tend to leave all the responsibilities of parenting to the mothers. So it's very important to try to be alive and lively also in the lives of the children. Try to have some high standards. Make time together as a family. Um, so make parenting a true priority. It's very important for him, for you. So he also talks about the family is the future. Uh, I know, for example, here in Rwanda, some of the few people talk about the importance of the family. I think one of the champion of the family and believing in a good family, I think is the First Lady, Excellency Jeanette Kagame. Happy New Year, by the way, dear Excellent. Um, First Lady, she always champions about the importance of family. Of course, most of us who didn't grow up with strong family, like nucleus family, like good exemplary family, yeah, we are caught up sometimes in trying to live the same broken families that we grew up in or grew up in seeing. And she challenged us, the First Lady also challenged the families to try to be examples and believe in the family and the love of family, love of parents, and loving or trying to respect partners and stuff like that, which I think is a good thing that she's trying to instill in the Rwandan society. And I think we need to give her a chance and give ourselves chances, give ourselves, our families, new chances of being good parents and trying to create good families um, for ourselves and for the nation. Um, so one thing that I can also talk about in the book which touched me is uh, how to be nice. How can you be nice in life? Either in the work relationships or family relationship, take yourself out of equation. Basically, don't. We here he says, um, it is human nature to think that the world revolves around us, but and he says it doesn't. Learning that is a giant step in being nice. Basically, the first thing that he talks about, how can we be nice, is we all tend to think that the world is about us, we, or is about me, and the world revolves around me. Everything anybody else is thinking about me or anything, that everything should be about us. He is reminding us that when you learn that the world is not about you, is not revolving around you, this is the first step of being nice. Because you start to see, you take yourself out of the equation and you see the world is about others and service to others. So this is the first step for him to being nice. I liked this quote very much. It taught me a lot of things. But what doesn't mean being nice? It doesn't mean to be, I mean, basically someone who can always be taken advantage of. So that's also what it tries to remind us. Don't be just nice for the sake of being nice, because that everyone takes advantage of you. That is also important. Um, so one last quote is: do you want to pay now or do you want to pay later? So basically, do you want to put effort now to avoid future consequences, or do you want to wait later when basically chances and opportunities are reducing? This is also something about prioritizing the opportunities. So this is a real things, a few things that I think I wanted to share through this book. And Dr. Ben Carson is a inspiring guy. He talks about living the environment or the mindset of the hood. You know, he talks about seeing the hood where poverty of African Americans in the hood, drugs, or getting ruled maybe trophies or the glamour of being a sportsman is the only way out, and kids start to go into sports and they play sport. It's good. But what happens when you break your leg and you didn't do education? It reminds us the importance of doing education, because you can have an accident, but if you are educated, you can still try to find jobs and be able to take care of yourself and your family. So, on that note, I would like once again to wish you Happy New Year, to wish you Happy Year 2025, um, with great visions, wishing you great success and daring to challenge yourself to do greater things, not only for yourselves or your families, but also for the societies you live in. Ciao. Have a nice day. I thank you very much.